It will be in a database so that you will not be able to work in any state in the United States of America. And we will ask that the authorities and the agencies also be required not only to report it to every place in America, but every country that we have agreements with. That means you won't work in the mental health field in America, Mexico, Canada. You won't work in Central America. Yes, we are going to be tough because lives are being affected. People are thinking about committing suicide. Others probably have because of mistreatment and abuse. And by the way, I keep saying mistreatment and abuse. I say mistreatment and abuse. But what exactly is the legal definition of mistreatment? Now, the Department of Human Services and this agency said it was mistreatment. They did not define what mistreatment is. So as far as I'm concerned, it is abuse. They also admitted to the person who abused my sister, Diane Torcaso, they said she yells. This person who abuses yells. They admitted to a lot of wrongdoing. They also said it was mistreatment. They did not fire this woman. This woman, almost 2 years later, is still working with the consumers who are extremely vulnerable. As a result of this woman, 14 other staff members left because they couldn't put up with watching these terrible things, or were fired because they spoke up. And if that wasn't all, this woman even got to the point where she threatened, supposedly, allegedly threatened, to do bodily harm to one of the consumers. And that agency, that center, is located in East Liberty, close to the police station. Personally, I believe this woman has committed a crime. I believe the agency should be legally required to report it to the police, and this woman should be in jail. And I don't care about the statute of limitations. This woman committed a crime. One thing I do know that happened to my sister Diane Torcaso. She was coerced to going into a room. In that room, they were intimidated, harassed, and then stories were concocted to try to make my sister look bad. And ultimately, this woman did not get fired. Neither did the supervisor, who also committed these heinous acts. Now, we're rehashing a little bit of stuff. But before we do, I'm going to get to Chris and the video because I only have a few minutes left. Let me tell you something. The Empowerment Committee of the Allegheny County Community Support Program, I am one of the co-chairs. We decided on March the 11th, 2009, to do a demonstration of what abuse and mistreatment might look like. At the time, we thought it best to not give a disclaimer. And there were some unintended consequences. It was frightening what we did to some degree. It wasn't really so much frightening as it was loud. But it was a dramatization. Now, moving forward, recently on CNN, there was a show, actually a public service announcement, that shows this woman getting brutally attacked, physically abused. And they had a conversation, a panel on it. They were discussing, did it go too far? Should there have been disclaimers? Did it go too far? Was it over the top? And they concluded that yes, it was over the top, but it had to be over the top to show what real abuse is like. Keep in mind, what was seen on that television and what we did was not nearly as much as what a lot of abuse and ultimately murder happens in many cases. So yes, it was hard, but it was based on a reality. Yes, we felt bad about the unintended consequences. And yes, we wanted to give a disclaimer, but we needed the realism. So even these experts on CNN agreed it had to be done in the manner that it was done. But now that we did, the Empowerment Committee did this dramatization, The Department of Human Services, who have allowed real abuse, suddenly have been attacking me well, not attacking me, but we're very outraged that the Empowerment Committee would do this. They also tried to blame me, saying that I was the only one who did it, which was not true. But the point is, they were angry about this demonstration. Why aren't you angry about the real horrendous abuse that Donna Weis went through? Why aren't you angry about the abuse that Chris Weis went through? Why aren't you angry about the abuse that Diane Torcaso went through? The Department of Human Services, Community Support Program, two different things, by the way. The people that are angry about what we did, why are you angry about a demonstration, which was a creative way of showing you what needs to be done? Why are you angry about that? But you don't give a rat's claw about real abuse. And with that, I'm taking it to Chris Weis. You got about 4 minutes to say your piece, then we got to go into the video, only because we got to hurry up and show your sister. But why are you worried about fake abuse and not the real one? Chris, what do you have to say to that? Maybe I need to shut up.
Well, one thing is what they are doing by sweeping it under the rug is they are dealing with people's feelings and playing with people's emotions.
Their lives.
Their lives. And actually, they are actually playing God because they just let things go.
Can you clarify what you mean by playing God?
Well, because of the fact of playing God, they're in power to do the right thing.
But
and they chose not to because they're afraid of people losing their jobs and afraid of losing their own paycheck.
Okay, Chris, well, what are you going to do about it to stop it, Chris? What are you, Chris Weis, going to try to do to stop it?
One is going to Senator Costa, and what I would like to see happen is people out there getting involved and coming forward. People that's been abused and mistreated. Even if they were mistreated 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
30 years ago.
Come forward and tell people. Contact Al, Torcaso. Contact me at capital C WEIS at 4898@gmail.com. And contact Al. And let us help you. And we'll help you so this go with the emotion, deal with the emotions that you've been dealing through for the last how many years? But the Department of Human Services and other agencies need to deal with it.
Now, let's make it clear, as I said earlier, not everybody at these agencies are bad. They're good guys and good women. But they got to get on the ball.
They got to get on the ball.
And the good people, you need to stand out. Even if it means losing your job, you need to protect the people you are employed to protect. Chris, I believe Annette has a number and address for the governor. Let's let her speak up and say that, and then let's get to you. You have somebody's name and address too, I noticed. Go ahead, Annette.
This is Governor Edward G. Rendel's office, which is at 225 Main Capitol Building, Harrisburg, PA, 17120. And the phone is 717-787-2500. And the fax is 717-772-8284.
And let's thank Monica and Kurt for putting the graphics up, even though we're saying it. Thank you for putting the graphics up. Now, Chris, don't you have a number or two, something?
I have two.
Let's go for it, Chris.
One is Dan Alvarado. It's 436 Grant Street, room 101, Pittsburgh 152210. 19, okay.
15219.
Okay, sorry about that.
And let's get the number.
350-6500. Fax number is 412-350-6512. Also, Senator Costa, 412-488-6111. And the contact person there would be Michelle Balser. Al and I have a meeting with her on April the 17th.
April 17th, 2009.
Right. In his Homestead office. And I'm going to